Hi friends, Cass here with just kind of a random chatty catch-up video. I want to do the report style video that I've seen a couple people on YouTube do. I don't know if it's like a thing on TikTok as well, but it stands for reading, eating, playing, obsessing, recommending, and treating. And you just kind of talk about different things that are related to those verbs, if you will. So I thought that it would be a good way to give a little reading update for the first half of April. And just because it's been I think 2 months since I have vlogged, just wanted to talk about some random things that I've been enjoying recently. Lotus is deciding that now is a good time to come hang out. Lotus. No. Anyways, so first R, reading. It has been, I don't know, not the best month and a half as far as the quality and my enjoyment of the books that I've been reading. I think that March was a pretty mid-month for me. I just did not read anything in March that I really loved and felt passionate about. So yeah, I'm hoping things turn around in the second half of April, and I think that they've started to, because I just had what I think is going to be a 5-star read. But let me backtrack. Beginning of April, I started with, let me grab it. I started with The Last of Her Kind by Sigrid Nunez. I have been on a little bit of a Sigrid Nunez kick since the end of 2024, I would say. I read What Are You Going Through, and I decided to pick this up because I really loved What Are You Going Through, and this has been sitting on my shelves for a really long time. I got it used, and this one's a chunky one, but I enjoyed it overall. She's doing a lot in here. I'm not going to get into everything that goes on in this, but at the end of it, I thought that it was thought-provoking, and I don't know, something a little bit different from her. I'm excited to read The Vulnerables next. That is the next one that I have on my shelf from Miss Sigrid. So yeah, this one was interesting. I also read 2 tiny books last weekend. We have The Guardians by Sarah Manguso and A Man's Place by Annie Ernaux. I also just didn't really love either of these, which sucks because these are 2 authors that I really do love, but I just don't think that these are necessarily the strongest works from them. With the Ernaux, this book is talking about her father, so it's really similar to A Woman's Story, which I talked about in my January wrap-up, and I thought that it was fine. The really interesting thing for me is that this book marks a shift in Ernaux's writing style from her earlier novels that were a bit more flowery language to this book and beyond is very sparse and analytical. So I enjoyed that kind of aspect of seeing where this lands in her catalog, but the book itself was just okay. And then with this Sarah Manguso, this is about her grief over her best friend's suicide. So I feel weird judging this too harshly because who am I to judge how she works through her grief? But this one was just a little bit too fragmentary for me, and I did not like it as much as Liars or The Two Kinds of Decay. So yeah, we had just an okay start to the month, but the book that I just read, I think is gonna be 5 stars. I still have to write my review of it, but I read on my e-reader Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain, and I really loved it. I obviously I know who Anthony Bourdain is, but I have never watched any of his shows or anything like that. So I think that the person that initially put this book on my radar was Nathan from Nathan's Nook, and then Renee Morris just recently read this and talked about it in her last video, and that was what kind of gave me that push to actually pick it up. I thought the book was great and just like really engaging. I can see why it was the book that kind of propelled Anthony into stardom and like got him his TV show and everything. His personality, I think, just really shines through in the writing, and it just feels very honest and genuine. I think because he was a chef turned writer turned TV star and not a chef turned TV star and then turned writer. I think that that just made the book feel a lot more genuine and just raw. And yeah, I really appreciated that. It wasn't like a celebrity memoir at the time that it was released. So it feels like it is just straight up him being himself. Also really gave me an appreciation for what chefs and cooks do, and confirmed to me that I would never be able to handle working in a kitchen. So yeah, I'm gonna shift the camera a little bit so that you can see my friend down here. I definitely want to watch Parts Unknown. I discovered that it's on HBO Max, which I discovered that I recently have access to. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I just really enjoyed that book a lot more than I was expecting to, because it's not like, I read a lot of memoirs, but it's not the typical type of memoir that I like to read. So yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised by that one. So now we have the task of figuring out what I'm gonna read next. I have a couple options on deck. I have a book on NetGalley, Searches by Vauhini Vara, which is about like AI and technology. It's a nonfiction book, but it sounds really interesting. I also have another newer release here, Stag Dance by Torrey Peters. This came out on March 11th from Random House. I had been planning to pick it up, but I've heard some like mixed reviews, and I just decided to wait a little bit to try it, but I would like to check it off the list since it was sent to me. So yeah, let me know if you've read this one yet and what your thoughts were. I think that it's gonna be something that I do pick up before the month ends. I'm also wanting to read The Door by Magda. This is a very hyped and beloved book on BookTube, and I think it's just time for me to read it. I also don't think that I've read a New York Review Books edition in a hot minute, and I have a lot of these sitting unread on my shelf. So yeah, this is another contender. And then I'm also in the mood to reread the Living Autobiography trilogy by Deborah Levy. So we have Things I Don't Want to Know, Cost of Living, and Real Estate. I've read these before over the span of maybe like a year or two, and I liked them, but I feel like I could get even more out of them now, and I don't know, I just like want to revisit these. I've also been thinking about revisiting the Copenhagen trilogy by Tove Ditlevsen, so I don't know, just feeling a reread vibe. I feel like I haven't done one in a couple months. Lotus is sitting in a very unladylike posture right now, so we're gonna take the camera off of her for her dignity. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on what I should pick up next, please let me know. I will probably be starting something new tomorrow, and I think that this video will also be posted tomorrow, so get your comments in. Moving on to the letter E for eating. I have been in a very big sushi mood recently, which if you know me, you know that that is really unlike me. I typically am someone that will want to have sushi like once every 6 months. And I don't know what has occurred in my brain, but I've had it like 4 times in the past month, I think, or like month and a half maybe. And it's just really good. Something flipped in my brain, and I'm like into it now. So I apologize to my friends that have wanted to get sushi, and I've shot that suggestion down. If you guys want to go now, we can. I've also been really having a moment with ice cream and ice cream adjacent products right now. I went to this restaurant in Pittsburgh called Lawrence Hall. I don't know if this is like a really popular style of restaurant in other places, but there's at least 2 other places in Pittsburgh that are really similar to this, where it's like almost a big food court, and there's like 6 different kitchens in the same building, and you could just like scan the QR code and look through the menus of all of the different places. And yeah, I got a corn dog and some pasta, but the real star of the show for me was an ice cream sandwich that I got at the like ice cream place that is within this building. It was a like peanut butter cookie wafer kind of thing, and then it had chocolate ice cream in the middle. And I just think chocolate peanut butter is like such a classic, perfect combination. So I really loved that. I also went to a pizzeria that had gelato, and I think that I got chocolate peanut butter there as well. That was really yummy. And then I just went to the little custard place near my apartment and got Black Forest, which was chocolate custard with black cherries in it. And that, I think, is one of my new favorite flavors at this place. So yeah, I guess it's getting warmer. Today is 76 degrees outside, which, I don't know, I just feel like we're in actual spring now, and it's ice cream season. I've also been really into making a dense bean salad, which I feel like has been all over like TikTok and stuff, but basically the way that I've been describing it is it's like a pasta salad, but with chickpeas and white kidney beans instead of pasta. And it's nice because I make a big pot of it, and I just like throw in the beans, some different like veggies, cheese, like meat, things like that, and some Italian dressing. And I have this pot for like all of my work lunches for the week, and it's great because I haven't had to cook as many dinners because I used to like cook dinner on Monday night, eat the leftovers for lunch on Tuesday, cook dinner on Tuesday, eat the leftovers for lunch. But now that I have like my lunches taken care of, I can eat my leftovers for dinner the next day. So I don't have to cook as much, which I do enjoy cooking, but sometimes it's just too much. And then my other food, or I guess this would be a drink, not food, but the Stoke Not Too Sweet cold brew in the orange container with the silk oat maple brown sugar creamer. Such an incredible combo. I have not been buying coffee out or making it with my Keurig. I've just been buying those 2 products and mixing them, and it's so good. This is looking funny again. What are you doing? It's like she wants to be involved, but she doesn't know how. The next letter is P, which is playing, which I think I'm interpreting that as music. So we're going to talk about some music that I've been listening to recently. I've been really into the newest single from, I don't know how to pronounce the name of this group, and I feel like I'm gonna be embarrassed if I try to say it.
How you pronounce our last name is Hayam. 2 syllables.
Hayam?
There you go.
I thought that it was Haim, so glad that I looked that up. But the song Everybody's Trying to Figure Me Out by Hayam is really good. Really enjoying that one. I've never really listened to them before, but I don't know, that's a fun single. Also, I don't know if you guys all got the country cart TikToks like recommended to you, but it's basically someone just putting country music over like clips of Mario Kart. So random, but I got one of the Chicks cover of Landslide, and I have been really into that recently. which has also got me listening to their song Wide Open Spaces, which I think Soccer Mommy covered a year or two ago, and I really like that cover, but I never really listened to the original. But I've been really into that as well. I'm not a big country person besides like Shania Twain, so interesting development here. And then 2 albums that I've really been liking are Charm by Clairo, which another artist that I have not really listened to, but I've been really enjoying that album, as well as Deja Entendu by Brand New, because I'm seeing them in June. So I'm getting in the spirit for that concert. Obsessing, letter O. Obviously my cat. Obviously I'm obsessed with Lotus. She just went into the kitchen. But Lotus, I'm talking about how much I love you and you're trying to bust into my cabinets that I had to lock up. She's silly. But yeah, I love her so much. I have had her for about a month now, and I feel like we have really kind of settled into our routine. We kind of know the vibes with each other now, and I feel a lot less stressed. A big part of that has been getting this plant cabinet set up. If you know me, I love houseplants, and I used to have all of these plants that are in this cabinet around my apartment, but a lot of plants are not good for cats if they would eat them. So yeah, I had moved all of the like small plants that I had sitting around into my bedroom, and I was keeping her out of the bedroom, and I was trying to figure out like what the heck to do. I didn't want to get rid of the plants, but I was also just so anxious that she was going to get into them, even though she hasn't really shown any interest at all in the plants. I would just be like sitting at work like, oh my god, like what if she's like currently chomping on a leaf and she's gonna get sick? So I finally decided to purchase this IKEA Fabricor, I think is the name of it, this cabinet. I was inspired by a plant YouTuber that I watch, Wild Fern. She has like an even bigger one that's like tall, and then she also has like a wide one that she's kind of converted into little greenhouses. Mine is not like set up for that at all. I literally just put the plants in there, but hers has like fans and lights and everything. I think that they're getting enough light from the window here, so everything seems fine for now. But yeah, I really love how it looks. I'll insert like a clip of the actual shelves and like what the plants look like in there, because you can't really fully see it. But really happy with how that's turned out, and just knowing that both Lotus and the plants are safe has brought me a lot of peace of mind. The other thing that has really, I think, improved my new cat mom anxiety is getting a little security camera that I have like next to my front door. It basically looks directly onto her cat tower, which is where she hangs out for most of the day while I'm at work. But it also like swivels, and I can move it to see like into the kitchen or over by the bookshelves, because there's a chair there that she likes to sit on sometimes. So being able to just like check in whenever I'm at work, see what she's up to, get a notification if she's like moving around, that has been just so much better than me going to work for 9 hours a day and not knowing what she's up to. It literally feels like time has like slowed down so much since I got her. I think just because it's been such a new experience, and just like every day I'm like, what is she gonna do? Like, what are we gonna learn about each other? So yeah, I'm just so happy. Best decision that I have ever made. And yeah, I'm just obviously obsessed. That's my daughter. And she's being so cute right now. Lotus. She loves to sit in this like crack in between the cushions on the couch. It's so adorable. I'll be laying on the couch like reading or napping, and she'll come over and just like lay next to me in that little crevice, and it's the cutest thing ever. On to our second R, recommending. I'm going to talk about some TV shows here, which is different for me because I'm not a huge TV person, but I don't know, something has happened in my brain as well with sushi and TV, and I'm like, oh, this is fun, this is good. So I have been watching Gilmore Girls since I moved into my apartment 2 years ago. Like, I started at the beginning and I just finished it for the first time last month. So yeah, that was like a very fun adventure. Really love that show. I am trying to find something similar to it, and I was doing some Googling and like looking at like Reddit threads of people that have asked the same question, and it just doesn't seem like there's anything that's going to give me that same exact vibe. I think I am going to maybe start watching New Girl again. I had also like began that whenever I first moved in, but just kind of fell off with it. But I don't know, that's like my top choice for my next show to watch. But I've also watched 2 other shows in their entirities, that being The Pit on HBO Max, which is a hospital show. It's based off of, I believe, Allegheny General Hospital in Pittsburgh. And there's a lot of like Pittsburgh references, which is really fun for me as a Pittsburgh native. They mentioned the name of the town that I live in, and I was like, oh my god. But my younger sister is going to school to be a physician assistant, so she really enjoys it because it's very accurate. I guess it's one of the most like medically accurate shows that have been on TV. So she came over one day to hang out and study, and she was like, I need some background noise. So she put on like episode 10 of it, and I was like trying to read my book, but I kept looking at the TV, and I was like, I am getting kind of invested in this. So after she left later that day, I ended up starting from the very beginning, and I really like the way that the show is set up. Each episode is an hour in the shift at the emergency department at this hospital. So yeah, I don't know, something so completely out of like my typical taste and interest. Like, I don't know why it really hooked me, but I watched all 15 episodes, and now I have to wait until January 2026 for season 2. So I will be watching that as it's released. And then I also watched all of the US version of Love on the Spectrum. Me and my boyfriend were trying to figure out what we wanted to watch, and he mentioned that he was interested in checking that out. I hadn't really like heard of it, but I was down to watch it, and we like barreled through the first 2 seasons, and then season 3 was released as we were like finishing up season 2. So we moved right into that. And I don't know, I just like also am not a big reality TV person, but I just really like it. I'm just rooting for the folks that are on it, and just like invested in the relationships that they're trying to get into. So yeah, really enjoying that. The other thing that I would recommend if you have long hair, just going completely into a different lane here, but I would recommend a flat claw clip like this. I just like will twist up my hair either into a bun or like kind of vertically like I would for a normal claw clip. Either way works with this, and it stays in really securely, and I can lay down with it, and it doesn't hurt or feel uncomfortable or anything. And I just really like how it looks with like the round like oval and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, really loving this instead of just like a normal claw clip or ponytail. Our final letter, T, treating. I don't know, I haven't watched one of these videos in a while. I don't know what other people have done for this, but I'm going to talk about some little things that I have treated myself to recently. Can I get this open? Oh my god. The first being some little perfume samples. I have like tried different perfumes before, different like sample sets and things like that, but I don't know, I've been really getting into it more recently. I feel like a lot of people are. But I ordered some little samples. These are not all of them. I have a bunch more in the drawer. These are just the ones that I haven't tried yet. I ordered them from luckyscent.com. It's like $4 per sample, and you get to try a bunch of different perfumes. So you don't have to like commit to, you know, a more expensive, bigger bottle of them. The only issue that I have with these specifically is that, well, they're tiny and I'm always dropping them, but they are just in these little like glass vials, and they don't have like a sprayer on the top, so you have to like very carefully take the cap off, and then I'll like put it on my wrist and flip it over and kind of rub it around and hope that I don't spill it all, and then like reflip it. And I think that that can kind of change the scent a little bit compared to like spraying it. I think it can change the notes sometimes. So that is the only kind of issue that I've had with this. But besides that, really recommend if you're like trying to find a new fragrance, just kind of trying some little samples out. It's been quite fun every morning to pull one out of the bag and try it out. And I've been like kind of keeping track of my thoughts on them, just in case I want to buy a bigger bottle of one eventually. The other thing that I've treated myself to recently is some new makeup. If you don't know, which you probably don't, I don't think that I've really talked about it that much on here. I used to be really into makeup. If I didn't have a book channel, the other thing that I could have seen myself doing is like making videos about makeup, but I don't know, my love for it has kind of waned, or I guess my relationship with it has changed a little bit. When I was in high school and college, I would show up to my part-time cashier job at Rite Aid looking like a full drag queen, and it was just something that I love to do. I love to play with like really colorful eyeshadow and just like do the whole thing. And I don't know if it's just like me getting older. I don't know if my skin and my face itself has changed a little bit, but I feel like my face physically just can't take that much makeup. Like if I tried to do like an eyeshadow look like I used to, I don't think that it would like stay. I think it would get creased and gross and weird, and so I don't really do that anymore, but I do still enjoy doing like skincare and complexion products and a lip and, you know, some mascara. I did some eyeliner today, but I did get some new products. I got a new blush from About Face. This is their Cheek Blush Rush in the shade Grand Prix, and it is like really dark. Whenever you first like apply it, it's like super dark. I put a dot of it on my cheeks and I'm like, oh my god. But I'm wearing it today and it blends out into just like a really nice flush, and I really like it. And then I also decided to get a lip product that is new to me, which is, oh, I kind of ruined it a little bit. I got Clinique Black Honey, but I didn't twist it down all the way, I guess, before I put the cap on, so it's a little bit damaged. But this is like a cult classic product that has been around for years that people really like, and I don't know, I bought into the hype. I like it. I'm wearing it now. It's just like very sheer, but it's nice because I just feel like I don't need like a super pigmented lipstick. And then the final thing that I treated myself to recently is a new pair of shoes. Yeah, I don't know. I wear a lot of brown in my clothing, and the purse that I carry every day is brown, so I feel like brown shoes make a lot of sense for me. And I just recently got dress coded at work for wearing my like knockoff Birkenstock like mule slipper kind of looking things, and those were dark brown, and I feel like they really kind of balanced out a lot of my outfits. And since I can't wear those to work anymore, I wanted to get something to kind of take their place. I can dress pretty casually at work, so I thought that these would be a good choice, and I really like them. I also am loving the butter yellow color, and yeah, good shoes. Okay, I have been talking for way longer than I expected to, but I just wanted to like chit chat about some other non-book things that I've been enjoying. I feel like, I don't know, I can kind of pigeonhole myself into just talking about books, and sometimes it can be hard to come up with like different ideas and things. So I just wanted to talk about some random stuff. Let me know what you would choose for these categories for like this month, what you've been enjoying and what you've been reading especially. I would love to know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.